Hi, everybody. I'm Sales Director Suzanne Riggs. And 28 years ago, I started my Mary Kay business. I still am married, a married woman with two kids. They were 5 and 10, and I was working full time. And I was working in the field of construction. And so, what that involved was I did the books in my dad's office, and I also went out and delivered parts, delivered fuel to heavy equipment, and I stood in the road with a slow stop sign. So lots of variety, lots of busyness. And because I worked for my dad, my phone rang from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night. So um, can you say high stress? And at the same time, wife, mom, all the things that come with that. Prior to working for my dad's construction business, I had worked for a large insurance company for 5 years and also for a retail furniture store for 3 years. So I still have that corporate and retail background, but what I know, what I grew up with is construction. So here's what I found in talking to women is oftentimes when things aren't working or we're not happy with what we're doing for our work, um, oftentimes it's because we're not making enough money to support ourselves, or we're not being paid what we're worth, or we're working with toxic people or in a negative environment, or we're working too hard, or we're working too many hours, right? When one or more of those things is happening, we sometimes go back to what we did before. And that's kind of how I ended up back in construction after working in the corporate and the retail environment. Or we go back to school because we think we just need to be trained for a different career, right? Or we think that if we just work more at what we're doing, we just give it more, then we're going to make more dollars, and then we're going to get ourselves out of whatever situation we're in. I don't know. Have you ever experienced this? I know I have. So I'm here to tell you that success is not found in your comfort zone. And I don't even know why they call it comfort zone, right? Are we really comfortable in our comfort zone? Are we living our best life when we're in our comfort zone? I don't know. Well, this is what I do know. If you want your life to be different, you have to do something different. And I know for me, 28 years ago, Mary Kay was definitely different than anything I had ever done. You couldn't get more different than the pink world of Mary Kay for me. So here's why. I had never been in sales. I did not wear makeup. I barely used skincare. Here was my regimen: bar soap, moisturizer, lip balm, and mascara. That was my extent. I did not answer the phone. I let it go to voicemail, or if my husband was home, he answered the phone. I did not go to the grocery store because I did not like having conversations with people, and we lived in the town I grew up in. I worked with men, not women. So I didn't really know how to work with women. I didn't really like being around women, right? But it was my husband who suggested I try this business. I understood why he wanted me to do this business. He loved being around people. He can strike up a conversation with anyone. And the business appealed to him. He liked this kind of business, but not me. But he said something very wise to me. He said, "You're never going to know if it won't work unless you give it a try." And he was right. I I could not tell him all the reasons it wasn't going to work until I tried, right? And so I decided to take a chance on me, and I said yes to the opportunity. And I just want you to know today you could choose to do something different and start a Mary Kay business for just $35. You can take a chance on you and give it a try as well. So if you're watching or listening to me today, it's because someone asked you to watch this, right? And that means they see something in you and they think you would be great at this business. I think you should ask them, why is it that you think I'd be great? I think that'd be a very interesting conversation. You might just be surprised. They might see something in you that you don't see in yourself. So let me share with you why I'm so glad that someone did ask me to join the Mary Kay business, and that my husband, yes, he had to convince me to say yes 28 years ago. You see, 28 years ago, we had just bought in our first home and our second mortgage payment was due. And my husband is a carpenter, a commercial carpenter, and he was on strike. And we had never gone through a strike before. I didn't realize they don't get paid. They can't collect unemployment. There would be zero money coming in. And I did not make enough money doing what I did to pay our mortgage payment. So what were we going to do? I don't know. We were stressed. But 8 weeks later, after starting my Mary Kay business, I was actually not only able to make that mortgage payment, I was actually able to leave a job that was not serving me or my family well. And I was able to become my own boss. So let me just go back one step there to the mortgage payment. So because we actually demonstrate the product, feature the product, people purchase the product, and then we get the profit right away. That's why I was able to pay our mortgage right away. So here's what happened. I held two parties. The first party, I sold $200 and we make half of what we sell. And so I made $100 and that felt pretty good. I was like, okay, I can try again. But the second party was the one that really convinced me I could do this. And this was because there was 8 people at the party and I only knew one of them. So I was terrified because like I said earlier, I wasn't real confident in front of people. But, and I do remember I was nervous that I was going to throw up. So I didn't eat. And then I took allergy medicine. So you can imagine how loopy I was. Oh my goodness. And so we had a flip chart and you would flip the page and read the back, flip the page and read the back. And I remember thinking as I was doing the presentation, am I ever going to get to the end of this thing? So not real comfortable, but here's what happened. At the end of the party, they bought $800. Now, that's when all the light bulbs went off for me because I made $400 profit in 2 hours 28 years ago. And my children I did not have to put them in daycare that day because my husband was home. He watched the kids. And so I didn't have the expensive daycare. I wasn't gone all day and I was making the money we needed. And so I just kept holding parties till I paid that mortgage. And then I just never looked back. I just kept holding parties, kept doing this business. And like I said, I was able to quit my job. And that's not what I'm encouraging. I'm just saying my job was not serving our family well. And so to be able to leave that job, to be able to take my kids to school and pick them up, to have enough energy, because you see, I worked a physical job and at the end of the day, there was nothing left to give them, really. I remember going through the motions, that hamster wheel of cooking dinner, giving a bath, going to bed, and doing it all over again, right? So I envisioned my kids seeing my tombstone. Mom was tired. That's how I envisioned that when I was able to start my Mary Kay business, I had energy. I was able to be there for them when they got home from school and talk about their day. And the other thing was now we had the money we needed in our household. And I was able to fill the gaps when my husband was laid off. Because as a carpenter, they're always working themselves out of a job. So no more stress when he was laid off or when they were on strike. And now I get to support him in his early retirement. That's right. He got to retire at the age of 55 and we get to live our best life now. That's what we always say. So I'm so grateful for that. So here's what I want for you. I want you to have financial freedom. I want you to be empowered by the choices you are able to make today. And here's what I mean by that. Have you ever had an appliance breakdown? Oh my goodness, an appliance breaks down. What are you going to do? Do we have to buy a new one? Where can we get credit? Do I have to get a used one? Should I call a repairman? All those things, right? In Mary Kay, I can just get on the phone and call some customers and I can fix that problem. I have the power to do that. Maybe your child comes to you. They always come to you at night after dinner and say, Mom, I need new soccer shoes tomorrow, or I need to pay this fee for that class, whatever it is, right? They never tell you in advance. Or maybe it's a happy thing. For us, our first grandchild is graduating in June, and I get the privilege and the excitement of planning for that and preparing for that. And my Mary Kay supports that, right? Maybe your daughter's getting married. You want to give her her dream wedding. Maybe you need new tires for the car. Oh my goodness, that can be an expense that you weren't prepared for, right? Or maybe you live in Washington State like I do, and the car tabs are due, or your property taxes. Wouldn't it be nice to not stress about those things and be able to have the control to go out and create that income that you need? So imagine how empowering that is. So that's my definition of financial freedom. In addition to the income, my Mary Kay business has given me also confidence. So Dave and I were at a Mary Kay event. This was a long time ago. I'd say this was about 3 years into my business. And I had just earned my second career car, and we were celebrating that. And at the event, somebody asked my husband, what do you love about Suzanne's Mary Kay business? And he said, you can take the car, you can take the cash. Although I love those things, I love that Suzanne is a confident person now. And I'm here to tell you, confidence is sexy. And that's the thing, is when you are confident, it's amazing what you can accomplish. So I want you to think right now about your confidence level. You know, when I came into Mary Kay, I truly was a confidence level of about 1. And now I have a confidence level of 10. And that's because of the Mary Kay training we get. If anything, I would pay $35 to join this company just to get the leadership training that I have received, to learn to speak up for myself and to be confident, and to have conversations with people and not be uncomfortable. To me, that is so worth it. So back 28 years ago, I realized that if I didn't become confident, I was going to pass this on to my children. And I saw this in my son at a very young age. I saw that he was that way, and I did not want this for him. So I'm so grateful that this training has helped me not only be confident, but I get the privilege of helping others be confident, and I get to include my son in that. The other gift my Mary Kay business has given me is that I have work that is fulfilling. And so that's what I want you to think about, what you do for work. Do you feel great at the end of the day? Do you feel like you've accomplished something? We have the privilege of helping others feel better about themselves through this product, through this business opportunity, and through our charitable foundation. Our Mary Kay Charitable Foundation supports domestic violence shelters and finding a cure for cancer. Now, we were greatly affected by cancer in our house. This was prior to Mary Kay. Our daughter, when she was 8 years old, had cancer. And the treatment behind her cancer was truly amazing. And I remember saying to the doctor, I am so amazed at the science behind Brittany's treatment. And he said, well, the reason for that is St. Jude really is such a forerunner of childhood cancer. But you know what made me sad about that is he said it was so much far advanced than adult cancers. And I thought, I'm so grateful because my daughter's going to live because of that science, because of those donations. But some child could lose his mom because there wasn't that funding for adult cancers. So I was thrilled to come into Mary Kay and find out we have a charitable foundation that is looking and granting millions of dollars to doctors to help them to find a cure for cancers that affect women. So that really touches my heart there. So I want you to imagine for yourself fulfilling work, feeling confident, financial freedom. Do you realize you can have all of that? I could talk for hours about what I've gained and the choices I'm able to make today because I said yes, reluctantly. Yes, I said reluctantly 28 years ago. Somebody had to talk me into it. So if somebody has invited you today, like I said, they see something in you. Could you say yes today, even reluctantly, just to try it out and see where it takes you? If you could fast forward 1 year from now, so today it's March 31st. So it would be March 31st, 2026. Maybe you're listening to this and it's another date. Think 12 months from today, right? How would you like your life to look different? How would you like to spend your time? Would you like to create your own work schedule and work when you want, not when someone else wants you to work? Would you like to have more time to take vacations? Here's a question. How many vacations would you like to take in the next 12 months? That's right. I said, how many? Dave and I just took a mini 4-day vacation last month. I didn't have to ask for time off. We just got in the car and went. Would you like to have more quality time with your family? How would that affect your everyday? Would you like to have more time for yourself? I want you to think about that. If you had more me time, how would you spend it? Would you go for a walk? Would you have lunch with a friend? Would you get a massage? Would you read a book? Would you do all of those things? Think about how would you like your day-to-day life to look? Statistics show that we are like the 5 people we are around the most. Do you realize if you work a full-time job, those 5 people are people you work with. Those are who you're around the most. So I want you to think about what are their traits, their personality. How are they influencing you? Would you like to be around people who talk about their dreams and goals and support you in achieving your dreams or goals? That really impressed me coming into Mary Kay. I never had, I don't think I'd ever even talked about dreams or goals. And here, this was something that was being done and encouraged, right? What would you like your bank account to look like? How about your budget? Would you like to be able to pay your bills and then have money for extras? This was important to me. I wanted to say yes more. Would you like to say yes to yourself and yes to your loved ones more when it comes to finances and what you're able to do and to purchase? Where would you like to live? Would you like to own instead of rent? Would you like to live in a different neighborhood, a different house? Maybe you live in the same house, but you'd like to get new furniture or appliances or landscape your yard. How about the car you drive? Would you like a brand new Mary Kay career car that the company pays the lease for, the tabs, the license, and a portion of your insurance? I'm talking like 85% of your insurance. Plus, your spouse can drive your car if you want them to. So currently we are awaiting delivery of, I believe, our 14th free car, because in Mary Kay, we get a new car every 2 years. And so I want you to imagine being able to eliminate a car payment and car insurance from your household bills. How much money would that free up? Oh my goodness. And what would you do with that? Maybe you love your car. Would you like to have the income to make that car payment and that car insurance from your business? Imagine telling your partner, I got the car payment and the car insurance this month. What kind of relief would that provide for them? Are you starting to understand that you can change your life? You really can. And you're just one decision away. It's a $35 decision. When I began my Mary Kay business 28 years ago, somebody said something very profound to me. They said, you are where you are today because of the choices you have made or the choices you have allowed others to make for you. Let me say that one more time. You are where you are today because of the choices you have made or the choices you have allowed others to make for you. That hit me really hard. I needed to stop blaming others and take responsibility for where I was at financially. That day, I did choose to take a chance on me. You can make that choice too. You can take a $35 chance on yourself. I know you're worth it and then some. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. We've all spent $35 on something, right? Something that, oh my goodness, You can't even take the family to a movie for $35, right? And what do you have to show for that? So we've all spent the $35, but what have we gained from that? Look at this $35 and what you can gain. Many people ask me, well, what if I fail? And I want you to ask yourself, what if I succeed? Wouldn't it be worth a try? And the answer to what if I fail is that's okay. You go back to being a happy customer. Really, nothing bad happens to you. There's no Mary Kay police. You can choose to start today, and then 12 months from now, you'll be the one here telling your success story. So I want you to contact your beauty consultant right now and tell her you're ready for more. You may be reluctant, but you're going to spend that $35 and give it a try. Thanks for watching.